Windows Vista is a significant release of Microsoft's Windows NT operating system. It was the direct successor to Windows XP. It included many overhauls to the Windows experience. Its entire structuring surrounded a concept that would also become a part of Microsoft's marketing slogan, bringing clarity to your work. But did it bring clarity? Let's find out. In 2007, Microsoft officially released a brand new version of Windows Vista. Windows Vista is an operating system's notoriety and has a buggy, slow, bloated mess. Reaches far and wide. Even to Apple, it became a joke. In addition, Apple had a field day with all of this and mocked every chance they had to attack Vista.
Countdown calendar, you go in the back and you fill in the dates that you want to count down to. So I'm going to say 12/31/2006. I'm going to put in Longhorn. And that's the days until Longhorn. Just counts them down. So, this is what we've been doing for the last 5 years. What has our competitor been doing for the last 5 years? Well, they've been trying to ship a single release that's had many names, but is now called Vista. And to give you our thoughts on Vista, I'd like to bring up Bertrand Serlet. Thank you.
2 years ago at WWDC, we thought we'd poke a little bit of fun at the folks in Redmond who were still working on Longhorn. So we hung in the hallways of the conference those big banners that said, "Redmond, start your photocopiers." It was all a joke, but they actually took it seriously. Why am I saying that? Well, let's look at the typical screenshot of Tiger and what we've seen on the latest beta of Vista. Some similarities here. Let's look at Spotlight. Now, with Spotlight, finally, it's easier to find information on your local disks than information on the web. And we have this incredible technology under the hood. After the WinFS debacle, they've been scrambling to understand how to implement that stuff. Now, in terms of UI, they did a major innovation. Instead of having the menu on the top right, they put it on the bottom left. Another key technology is, of course, the browser technology. With Safari, we kind of restarted innovation and creation in the browser space by having a browser that's both elegant, simple, yet powerful. And in Tiger, we added a personal clipping assistant functionality, Safari RSS. Guess what? IE7 RSS. They even have the same layout for the little kind of filter box on the right. Now, talking of similar layout, there's our mail program. And for the longest time, Windows that had this kind of combo that does mail and calendaring and address book. Well, no longer. It's now an independent program. This is iCal, our calendaring program, and this is Windows Calendar. They even tried to copy the color scheme and didn't get that quite right. Now, this is a logo. Now, you may think that I made up the logo by taking the standard Microsoft Windows logo and adding a nice aqua bubble on top. No, that's the official logo. But, you know, underneath it all, it's still Windows. It still has the registry as its core. It's still DLL hell. And it has this well-loved feature that's called activation. if you can't innovate, I guess you just imitate, but it's never quite as good as the original. So, enough said about Vista. Vista is still in the future for Windows customers, but for us, it's features from our past. It's features we've had in Tiger, in Panther, some since the beginning of macOS 10, and we've already iterated several times on those features. So to talk about the future, our future, I'm going to turn back to Steve.
Great job. Thank you, Bertrand. You know, our friends up north spend over $5 billion a year on R&D, and yet these days all they seem to be able to do is try to copy Google and Apple. So I guess it's a good example of how money isn't everything.
On November 8, 2006, and over the following 3 months, it was released to computer hardware and software manufacturers, business customers, and retail channels. On January 30, 2007, it was released internationally. It was made available for purchase and download from the Windows Marketplace. It is the first release of Windows to be made available through a digital distribution platform. Windows Vista had 4 editions: Home Basic, Home Premium, Business, Ultimate. Home Basic cost $99.95. Home Premium cost $129.95, Business cost $199.95, and Ultimate cost $219.95. They also sold some upgrade editions too. Home Premium to Ultimate $159, Business to Ultimate $139, Home Basic to Home Premium $79, Home Basic to Ultimate $199. New features of Windows Vista include an updated graphical user interface and visual style dubbed Aero, a new search component called Windows Search, redesigned networking, audio, print, and display subsystems, and new multimedia tools such as Windows DVD Maker. Vista aimed to increase communication between machines on a home network using peer-to-peer technology to simplify sharing files and media between computers and devices. Windows Vista included version 3.0 of the .NET framework, allowing software developers to write applications without traditional Windows APIs. Windows Vista removed support for devices without ACPI. Developing Vista was a hell. Microsoft had a bigger plan for the next Windows after Windows XP. In my last video, we told you that the Windows XP development code name was Whistler. Their following Windows code name was Blackham, which is Windows 7. Whistler and Blackham were names of mountains in British Columbia, with Longhorn being a bar between the two places. So, Microsoft wants to have another version of Windows between this Windows XP and Windows 7. So, they started work on Longhorn, aka Windows Vista. Microsoft began work on Windows Vista in May 2001, 5 months before the release of Windows XP. It was initially expected to ship in late 2003 as a minor step between Windows XP and Blackham, which was planned to be its next major operating system release. Gradually, Longhorn adjusted many of the essential new features and technologies slated for Blackham, resulting in the release date being pushed back several times in 3 years. Many leaks of Vista, both real and fake, began to surface on the web in mid-2002, giving out more information about its feature than Microsoft wanted the public to know. Like it was initially intended, Microsoft soon had many more features in mind that they wanted to add to Longhorn. This included a new security architecture called Palladium, designed to use both hardware and software to protect the end user from malicious activity. They wanted to add a brand new 3D GUI, faster desktop search, the sidebar, a primitive version of what we recognize today as the Notification Center in Windows 10, and a unique storage system known as Windows Future Storage. It was apparent that Microsoft didn't have a good sense of direction and wasn't exactly sure what they wanted Longhorn to be. The OS became more bloated and unstable as time progressed. and some significant changes, such as completely rewriting some parts of the operating system, made it incredibly difficult to use. One of these features was the inclusion of the .NET framework. By 2004, it had become evident to the Windows team at Microsoft that they were losing sight of what needed to be done to complete the next version of Windows. And then, the whole project got reset. Ultimately, dropping features like Palladium and WinFS, but still including new graphics and a stat search. In April 2005, one of the few Longhorns builds officially released by Microsoft introduced the Aero theme and closely resembled Windows XP. To Microsoft's surprise, this was not well received. Windows enthusiast Paul Thurrott calls this build painful and the makings of a train wreck. Luckily, as time progressed, so did Longhorn. Many changes were made to the system, including even the project's name, which was now Vista. Although future beta releases of the OS did have their problems, it wasn't even comparable to Longhorn preset. Microsoft was shocked in 2005 by Apple's Mac OS X Tiger release. It offered only a limited subset of features planned for Longhorn, quick file searching, and integrated graphics and sound processing. Still, it appeared to have impressive reliability and performance compared to contemporary Longhorn builds. Most Longhorn builds had significant Windows Explorer system leaks, which prevented the OS from performing well and added more confusion to the development teams. Later mix with more code was developed that failed to reach stability. In a September 23, 2005, front-page article in the Wall Street Journal, Microsoft co-president Jim Olchin, who had overall responsibility for the development and delivery of Windows, explained how the development of Longhorn had been crashing into the ground due to large part to the haphazard methods by which features were introduced and integrated into the core of the operating system, without a clear focus on an end product. While Microsoft had originally hoped to have the consumer versions of the operating system available worldwide in time for the 2006 holiday shopping season, it announced in March 2006 that the release date would be pushed back to January 2007 in order to give the company. Official mainstream support for Vista ended on April 10, 2012, and extended support ended on April 11, 2017, while the server equivalent, Windows Server 2008, had its mainstream support ended on January 13, 2015, and extended support ended on January 14, 2020, respectively. As of February 2022, 0.18% of PCs run Windows Vista. Windows Vista was the future that got succeeded by Windows 10. The thing Microsoft wanted to have in Windows Vista was in Windows 10. That would be another video for some day. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and click the notification bell. New videos are on their way. Till then, stay safe.